Good morning. Hello. Woohoo. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Woo woo. How's everybody this morning? How is everybody? What's going on out there in the world? I know you're there. I can feel you. Morning, y'all. Hey, Amy. Hey, Teapot. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Lily. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Alpha in America 1. Hey, good morning, Jason. Miraculous. Oh my gosh, Valerie. If you knew the amount of times yesterday that I said the word miracle, wow, you are miraculous. Hey, Kenny Snuggles. Hey, Stephine. Lily Joan. Good morning. Joan Jurish. That's such a great name. It's like a writer's name. Jules First. Hey, honey, how are you? Yeah, it was too cool. I'm telling you, man, there was some crazy energy that was shifting and moving and grooving yesterday. And I mean, crazy. And just literally the word miracle. I bet if I said that word 10 times yesterday or 15 times, it was crazy. So, this is going to be real different this morning. What else is new? Good morning, Gail. So I just kind of want to like hang and do my triple Scorpio thing and go with the flow. And so, y'all tell me how you want me to do the readings this morning. Literally, just like, you tell me, do you want to ask questions? Do you want me to just flip cards like past, present, future? What do you want to do? What do you all want to do today? Happy Friday. Welcome to the live stream. That's right, Teapot. Thank you so much. Uranus went into retrograde yesterday. Retro. Dun 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 dun. Oh, Gypsy Nana, you like the glasses? Thanks. Thanks. They're sparkly, and I know it's not fall time yet, but I ran into a couple of craft stores yesterday, and they've got all their fall stuff out, and it smelled like cinnamon and pumpkin and everything. So I decided I would do we would be a little early for fall this year. It's my favorite time of the year. So Gypsy Nana, I think I got them off of Amazon. Yeah, I got them from Amazon. They're readers. But thank you very much. Did you get any rest yesterday? Not a bit, Tanya. Nope. Sure did not. Oh gosh. Oh, Kelly. Oh. You're not a downer. Stop. You're not a downer. You are not a downer. Hey, Linda Sue Friedman. Hey, y'all. Thanks. Thanks for the thing on the glasses. They are, well, I don't know if you guys ever watched, Criminal Minds, but I'm fascinated with Penelope on that show. Like, I want to be just like her. I want to be just like her because I just love the way she dresses. So I went buck wild earlier in the year and I bought all these fancy schmancy reading glasses. I never wear them on air because they're a little over the top, but I do wear them at my house. I love them. But I think I might be using them more frequently. I'm feeling kind of sparkly these days. But anyway, okay, so also remember today is the day that I give a free copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, which is my own deck, which is what I read from. Thank you very much for the kind words about the glasses. Appreciate it, y'all. So in any event, oh my Lord, Axie, goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, Kelly, don't be afraid to ask, or don't think you're being a downer if you ask for prayers. Buongiorno. Axie, I think I owe you an email, pretty sure, and I need to get on that real quick, so I'll send it to you pretty quickly. So, all right, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I am going to just start flipping some cards, and it's just going to be really free flow today. I'm testing, let me just tell y'all what I'm doing. I'm testing some energetic vibrational patterns. I have a lot of information that's been being downloaded into me lately about how I can better serve you all, how I can better serve the animals, more like expanded ways to do that. And there's just so much there's just so many choices. It's like the 10 of Cups. There's just so many choices floating around out there that I want to move forward with all of them, but that's not going to really, that doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to just like kind of feel into what you all want, what's really going to be best for you all, and then also the animals and whatnot. So I just figured I would flip some cards and do our thing. And then if you guys want, if that's what you feel like, you want me to just answer specific questions, then that is what I'll do. For those of you that are new, welcome. And for those of you that are longtime subscribers, thank you so very much for all of your love and your support. And the animals, thank you too, because the other thing that was crazy yesterday, just the sheer volume, the sheer volume of conversations that and animal, everything that came into my awareness yesterday, it was over the top. Hey Lisa, how are you? So also, okay, listen y'all, let me just oh my god. Coyote just came flipping out of the deck. So let me just say this. What was going on in my head was what always goes on in my head when I start communicating, with spirit. Well, you're not ever not in communication with spirit, because you are spirit, right? Like I feel confident we all know this by now. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. But here's the thing. So, I always have in mind, well, you know what? I'm being told to tell you this. So let me just tell you this. So before I do a live, I do a ritual, yes, in my own house, where I call in the 4 directions, I call in Father Sky, I call in Mother Earth, I cleanse the space, and I sit and I set the intention that everything that comes out of my mouth, everything that I think, believe, know that I'm seeing in my journey as a shaman, whether you call it shamanic journeying, psychic mediumship, whatever, that it is for everybody to get something of value out of. So even if I'm reading for XYZ person, that other people, you may not, that message may not be meant for you at that moment, but it might be what other people need to hear in that moment. And also, there might be another message for you later that other people need to hear, right? Because we're all connected. Hey, Lisa. So that said, I do a fair amount of preparatory work before I just jump on camera with you all, so that I can hold sacred space for all the wild pack, right? Okay, because that's my job. So when I was just flipping right now, what was going through my mind, or when I was shuffling, was what is really today all about? Because I don't ever not have a plan. I mean, people that know me know that little known fact about Bernadette, when I don't have a plan, I start to spin. I don't like it. Going free flow? No, too controlling, too type A. So that comes from years of owning your own business though, right? Well, and triple Scorpio. So all that said, I have to tell you all something. This is a very powerful card. This is a very, 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 and I know you're not supposed to use the word very. It's an elementary word to use, and people that do public speaking are told never to use the word very. Go figure. But it is a very, 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 very powerful spirit totem, power animal. I will tell you why. So when we talk about coyotes, first of all, a dollar says that many of you, I would bet a lot of you, have had something hit you this week in your spirit, in your mind, in your awareness, that things don't feel right. That just stuff, a situation, something a person said, something just didn't feel right. And you've been having conversations with yourself, or maybe other people, or both, that that you're like, it doesn't feel right, or it just doesn't, it doesn't feel natural to me. And I've heard the word natural a bajillion times this week. And so, all of that said, I will tell you why this is so very important. Now, in terms of spirit, totem, and power animal symbolism and meaning, Coyote always tracks back to the Native American, more indigenous kind of storytelling, myths, that kind of thing. Because it's an animal that's here in the Americas. And so we're just gonna, I know it's Friday, we're supposed to be having fun, but let me just dive deep on this for a minute, because the when things don't feel natural, when they don't feel quite right, yeah, wooology, something feels off, like there's a piece that's missing. Kara, yes. Tanya, yes. Joan, yes. Okay, everybody's like, yes, right? Okay. Exactly. When you're indecisive, because it doesn't feel natural. So here's what I mean by that. We are born with the cellular memory, the DNA of all of our past lives, all of our parents, when we were parents, all of our everything. And I am of the opinion that we are also born with the memory of having been pretty much every animal that's ever been or ever will be. I do not ascribe to, and I absolutely, this is the first time you'll have ever heard me say I don't agree with something in public, because I keep my opinions to myself, except for a couple things that usually have to do with trolls on my feed. But I absolutely disagree with people that feel like you have led many lifetimes as a human, but never a lifetime as an elephant or a snail or a blobfish or whatever. I think that's patently untrue. I can't prove it, but I think it's untrue. So what that means, yeah, Kimberly, you're questioning everything. Right. Okay. So, Nikki, why are you crying? Don't cry. Oh, you're very sweet, honey, but honey, you're so sweet. Stop crying. Stop your crying. No, I'm sending you virtual tissues, the really soft kind. Whatever the softest kind is, I'm sending you those. Okay. So what I'm saying with this is when something feels off, it's because your natural gut instinct knows that it knows that it knows. But we are taught from birth, we are indoctrinated, we are imprinted with, oh my gosh, it can be so many different things. Like, I talk to really super feeling people all the time, right? Especially water signs. And they might have grown up in households where both their parents were air signs. So it was all about the intellect, the intellect, the intellect. And they were always told, you're oversensitive, you're too emotional, you're this, you're that. There can be so many things that happen. But at the end of the day, what's being called for, what does this have to do with Coyote? And what does this have to do with the Native American culture? Because it is about you, body awareness, right? Who said that? Yeah, Kara, it's about body awareness. Okay. So it is all about you getting back to your most indigenous self. Now, before somebody writes me and tells me that I'm appropriating some culture, I am not. Okay? You don't know. Every single one of us could have been Native American in another lifetime, or Eskimo, or American. It's or British, or this or that. And I suspect we've been all of them, right? Or if you haven't yet in your soul's progression or your spirit's progression, you might be at some time. But for the sake of today, anything that sparks your interest about the Native American culture, and in particular their lore and legend about Coyote, is really important, because, if you've ever observed them in the wild, they can seem to be very timid, very skittish, and it's not really so much that they are hyper aware. I've been around a lot of coyotes in my day. Y'all, I grew up in Florida. Come on, tromping through the woods with not a dang lick of sense in my head. You can't even know the stuff that I've stumbled on and has stumbled over me in these woods here in Florida. But oh, the stories I could tell, because I was not very smart as a child. But And I never believed anything would or could hurt me ever, ever. And it didn't. So but anyway, what I'm saying is the symbolism and meaning wrapped around coyote, and it's going to be up to you today. Is the coyote coming to you as a spirit animal? Did you ask for love, guidance, and support from an animal? Do you identify with coyote as your totem animal? And that means what parts of yourself are really on your mind that you're really paying attention to, right? And then if you've called upon, coyote as your power animal, then it's up to you to step outside of coyote, because remember, you're that animal, and you step outside of the animal to be yourself. Why do you need to wear that energy today? And coyotes are not skittish. They are very psychic and hyper aware. They're hilarious. I mean, they they really are jokesters. They really are tricksters, and they've got such great senses of humor. And if you've ever watched their pups play, it's some of the most adorable thing you'll ever see in your life. And if you've ever watched a coyote not play, they're not large. They're just not, I mean, even the biggest coyote is not so very big. And they tend to run on the, I think it's a real lean kind of side. They don't seem like formidable adversaries. But I'll tell you, you never want one to come after you. I mean, they're not wolves. Okay, they don't have the bulk, the physical bulk of a wolf, but they've got every bit the ferocity of a wolf, and they are relentless. Relentless. And they're so fast, they'll be up behind you before you ever noticed. And another thing I can tell you about them, people love the videos of the coyotes jumping through, snow or jumping through this. I'm here to tell you, I was at Mystic Jungle Sanctuary about 1.5 years ago, and they had an injured coyote that had been brought to them by the Forest Service, and they were rehabilitating it. And so this is a wild coyote, right? And they're rehabilitating it, going to put it back in the wild. But when you got anywhere near, and it was in a pretty big enclosure, anywhere near that enclosure, that coyote would take to jumping. And I'm telling you, that coyote could jump 5 to 6 feet in the air just from a dead standstill. It was like it had rocket ships in its paws. So when I witnessed that, one of the things that I always say when coyote comes out in somebody's reading is that, is there something that you need liftoff about? Is there something that you need a fire lit under your behind so that you can really take off like a rocket ship and get what you want? Now, that coyote did not want to be in that enclosure. Okay, I'm here to tell you now. Of course he didn't. But he was scared and he didn't know, but he was hurt. And anyway, but the other thing is, what that tells me is that no matter where you're at, it's important that you see things from a taller vantage point. And what that means is you can't know what you don't know. Like, there's no way that coyote could know that, he wasn't going to be trapped in that cage forever and separated from everything he'd ever known. And he's not around humans. And, there was scary things going on and noises, and roars of lions and, at the sanctuary, so on and so forth. Right. Okay. So it is really important that if you are trying to see, or you're trying to figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, just any kind of anything. Again, you can't know what you don't know, but somebody out there will know what you don't know. And this really might be time for you to reach out and ask for help. Again, coyote is a great harbinger of this. Coyote would not know to go knock on the door of the sanctuary and say, my paw is infected, my leg is infected, there's a broken bone. They wouldn't know to do that. But a human can know to do that. You might be resistant to asking for help. it might embarrass you. It might shame you. You might be a person that thinks, well, I don't want to put other people out. It doesn't matter. It truly, truly, truly doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. You've got to ask for the help. You've got to find your way to somebody who knows what you don't know. And that generally means somebody with more experience, right? Or a number of people with more experience. The other thing is, again, if you, and let me just say this, fear is not always a bad thing, okay? I'm not a big fan of fear. One of my missions and goals, and I know is the job that I came in with, is to help people set themselves free, move past their fears and set themselves free, which, by the way, I'm about to show you something and tell you a story that's going to rock your socks, which it really dovetails into the Coyote this morning. And I'm like, how are these two things that are completely disparate, how are they coming together to form this message this morning? And yet that's how spirit works, right? Okay. So you know, Coyote at that time was jumping and jumping and jumping out of fear, out of confusion, out of all those kinds of things. And sometimes we have to take a leap out of fear. Sometimes we can't know, okay, everything is, as you know, everything is calm. I feel safe. I feel this. Sometimes you've got to just jump. Lisa, yes, need to rocket launch. Not sure the next steps. Found a marketing program to help get my brand out. Lisa, could I just say, it's none of my business, and you didn't ask, but before you run willy-nilly out, hey, Georgie. Okay, Georgie is making an appearance. Trying to drink my iced tea. Before you run willy-nilly out into the world and hire a marketing firm, I would be very happy to have a 5-minute conversation with you over the phone, because especially if it's in the internet space, y'all, the money that you can lose because you don't know what you, and this is exactly what I'm saying. You don't know. Oh my God, Lisa, this is exactly what we've just been talking about. You can't possibly know what you don't know. So even if their fees are big, they might be worth it. Or their fees might be big because they're taking advantage of the fact that you don't know what you don't know. And that is a lot of marketing people, a lot, because you can't quantify marketing. You can't. There's no, let me not go down that rabbit hole. Don't get me started though on that whole thing. Okay. So, all that said, it is, let me just say, Coyote has come today to tell you that you may be in fear at the moment. You may not know what's going on, but that doesn't mean it's not time to take the leap, because you will find out what's going on. And fortunately for Coyote, it was surrounded by helpers that were not going to let it, just willy-nilly run back into the woods with a broken bone and an infection and all of that. And it strangely calmed down in about 48 hours. It would still pace, but it wasn't doing that frantic jumping and panting and just wide-eyed and like, oh my God. Because at the time, their keeper, the head of the sanctuary out there, Jungle Jamie, she really has an amazing way with animals, and she was able to get him to calm down, enough. Anyway, he got fixed. They released him in the wild. But I'm going to tell you guys this story. And I know some of you new people, I've watched you really quickly in the feed, want me to pull cards. You're new here, and I thank you for coming. I hope you like it and subscribe to the channel. That's not always how it works here, though, is for me to just flip cards or just answer specific questions. And by the way, the other thing I want to say to new people like that is, I know you can trust me, and the people that I have been with me for a long time know they can trust me. They know my messages are accurate, the intentions are pure, that I truly am in communication with the other side. I would caution you between just stumbling upon a reader and asking them to flip a card or give you a psychic message or do any other divination for you if this is the first time you've seen them and you don't trust them. There are any number of people out there on the internet that know you can make a great deal of money as a tarot reader on the internet or a psychic on the internet, and they're doing it for the Benjamins. and don't know. They're behind you from a hole in the ground about how to connect with spirit. And all they're doing is flipping cards. They're not connecting to the cards. They're not connecting to the energy of the client. They're not doing anything. They're just flipping a card, and they either loosely know what the cards mean, or they've got a prompt sitting by them where they look up the meaning right there, and they just regurgitate that BS back to you. No, not so much. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys something. So the other night, I probably should have called this live like a shocking admission. Bernadette, admits a shocking secret, which is fixing to not be a secret, and it never really was a secret. Okay, hold on. I'm looking to find it on my phone, y'all. So the other day, I was in meditation, and a big old thing fell on my head that basically said, you have got to, you've got to figure out where you're going, what you're doing, what's happening here. And so, I was trying to figure out kind of like, well, what really more expanded role why is this not opening for me? What expanded role I need to take, what I need to do. Am I really the one to move this work more forward, with the animals, the whole 9 yards. And so I love having fun on apps. I just love apps. And so there's a site online called facade.com, F as in Frank, AC as in cat, ADE, facade.com, right? And I go to it occasionally when I'm sleepy and I'm just kind of fooling around. And so I clicked on the tarot portion to do an electronic tarot read. And somebody said the other day, I heard somebody say on a video or something that the readings that you get online that are through electronic apps and whatever are BS and they're not accurate. That's not true. Neither can this person prove what they're saying, and I can't prove what I'm about to say, but intention is everything. And I believe right time, right place, right? I believe nothing is coincidental. It's all as it should be. And so on this app, there's 10 or 15 tarot decks you can choose from. And then you choose the spread. Do you want a 4-card spread, a 3-card spread, the Celtic Cross, the whatever. And I was just like, okay, 1 card. And for the first time ever, and this thing's been online for like 18 years, 15 years or something. And for the first time ever, under decks, I clicked in the drop down, choose for me. I was like, okay, well, let's just see. And the question that I sent out, are you ready for this? Is it me that's really truly supposed to step further out into getting this spirit animal, the animal messages out into the world? Am I supposed to show up and take a bigger kind of more visibility? Let me just put it that way. So lo and behold, are you ready for this? So lo and behold, the little wheel spins, and then the little thing pops up, and it is the from the New Orleans Voodoo tarot deck. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And the card is the Grand Ibo card. And I was like, that's interesting. What does that mean? So the Grand Ibo is actually it's part based on fiction and myth and legend from the Igbo tribe of the Nigerian culture. And there was a grandmother, and there was anyway, I did some deep diving on this because I about fell out of my bed. I was laying in bed doing all this, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it woke me right up. I was sleepy until then. It woke me right up. I couldn't go to sleep till 5 a.m. But here's what this says. Okay, ready for this? Okay. So, deep in the damp mystery of the sacred swamp lies a powerful and strong Wa, Grand Ibo, revered as the great mother of the Ibo people. Are y'all ready for this? She teaches how to free yourself from your chains and rise again. This is a deity that comes from Africa originally, but who has taken her rightful place in the universe of Haitian voodoo and New Orleans voodoo. And there's the story that goes behind that is, and this part is true, during slave times, deplorable. During slave times, the Igbo people from Nigeria made up the larger percentage of slaves that were transported from Africa to the Americas. And there's a story that goes that there was a group of them that were chained together, and they decided as a group they would rather die free than live in chains. And they hurtled themselves out of the boat into the water. Some tales tell it they walked out of the swamp into the water. And because their chains were so heavy that once everybody was chained together, they simply let themselves sink to the bottom and drown, because they would rather die free than live in chains. Now, what do I say to y'all all the time? Stay wild, stay wild, stay wild. I'm not joking. I'm not joking about that at all. It's not a catchphrase. It's what I really believe. Being chained? Not so much. But here's the story. So here's the card in the deck. Right? Can you see that? Right. Here's the card in the deck. The Grand Ibo. And I always say, I live in a swamp. People say, where do you live? In a swamp. I live in Florida. It's a big old swamp. And I got a swamp, right? Exactly. Okay, so now, this is nuts. Okay. Hey, excuse me. Hey, Geraldine. Who was invited to a speakeasy? Ooh, Ma, I want to go to New Orleans with you. Okay. But here's the other thing. So in the deck that it's in, you ready for this? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Yak, 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 yak. She develops wisdom. Blah, 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 blah. One of her sacred animals, a yellow canary. Okay. Now let me just tell you guys something. The very first animal that I saw materialize that had crossed over to the other side was a yellow canary. It was back in my younger days as a psychic medium. I was in my store. I looked up, and honest to God, I watched a yellow canary burst out of a burst of light over here, fly across the store, and disappear in a burst of light. I was like, I'm having a psychotic break. And then a family that walked in right after, I said to them, I know we've never worked together before. I hope this doesn't, make you think I'm too weird. But does a yellow canary mean anything to any of y'all? And the father of the group had to sit down. He busted out crying. And it was Pepe, his pet yellow canary had passed, and this poor man was despondent. He was heartbroken. He'd been a year and he'd never gotten over it. So at the time, I thought, well, it never occurred to me that the first animal to show up to you would be meaningful until years later when I started doing this work. So lo and behold, a yellow canary, and that's in all the myths and the legends when you read in books online. But okay, ready for this? One of her sacred animals, a yellow canary, whispers secrets into her ear as she understands the language of animals. When I tell y'all I know your fears, when I tell y'all I know what you go through, I go through it too. And when you look at that story, when you see what's going on in the threads that put all of that together, I know that, and then a good friend of mine called me this morning. She said, hey, listen. She said, I was in a meditation. She said, I got a message for you. And I'm like, okay, what do you got? She said, I was shown your face as the head, and your body was a cyclone, a hurricane. And it was spinning around, spinning around, spinning around. She said, you don't spin. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not spinning. I just have a lot to consider, but yeah, I'm okay. She goes, well, here's the story. She said, you have to go. She said, the spinning will stop instantaneously as soon as you get more, you got to be more simple and just go, what's the most important thing? Well, I was like, oh my God, because I just said on Thursday, I was hanging out with my sister on Thursday, and I had just said, you know what? I just need to cut out the noise, and I just need to focus on one thing, the most important thing, which for me is the work I do with animals, what I can do for animals, right? Like that's my job, and however it plops up. If tomorrow I'm told to go muck stalls or clean cages or whatever somewhere, that's what I'll do. But for today, it's a different kind of work. And so I was reminded of that this morning from this friend of mine who was in a meditation for herself and got a message for me. and it's focus on what's important. Now, this is not about me this morning. I hope that you can see how every bit of this is applicable to you. Right now, in this moment, if you are watching this feed, it doesn't matter if you're watching this and we're in 2021. If you're watching this in 2030, it's important for you. And so far, what I will tell you all is that Coyote is important as your helper to support you in moving through this world to see from an elevated perspective what the most important things are, and nothing else matters, because at that point when you are focused on what is important, everything else will line up, because that's the vibration that you meet the energy of the universe with, which is yourself. Cut through the clutter, cut through the noise, and that's it. What's important for me, it's what I can do for animals. And in that, I have to include volume. It's one thing to help one animal. It's a different thing entirely to be able to help in the tens of thousands, if not millions. So that's what I have to focus on. And in that, humans, you all are part of that journey. You would not be on my channel if you didn't love animals. And there are a lot of people that say they love animals, and they might not be into the woo-woo. I'm not discounting those people. What I'm saying is, you're working at a deeper level, a deeper and higher level of consciousness for yourself, for the planet, for everything that lives in the planet. And so I know that I'm supposed to help you all even more. Remove your blocks, remove your fears, break your chains. Because I got news for y'all. I'm not going down like that. I'm not going down chained to a whole bunch of other people that have decided they'd rather die free than live in chains. I'd rather just break the chains before I got to take. If I want to go underwater, I want some scuba gear and I want to be diving with whales. Okay, that's how I'm gonna roll. So all that said, that is the first part of this morning. And so because my job is to show up in service of you all, that reading that I gave myself, think about it. If there are 15 tarot decks on that app, facade.com, if there are 15 tarot decks and they all have 79 cards, let's do the math on that. Hold on, I'm going to open up my computer's calculator, because God knows I would have to be counting on my fingers and toes. 15 times 79. Okay, that's 1,185 cards that it could have been. There was a 1 in 1,185 chances that a card would come up. And yet it did at the right time, in the right way, at the right moment, because my question was specifically about. And that's not a coincidence. It was specifically about animals. It was specifically about how I can better serve you all, which is what do I say all the time? Remove your blocks, remove your fears, stay wild, stay wild. All my emails, hope your spirit is running free. And that's it. So we are, Lisa, and that's how it works, Lisa Ben Susan. Oh yeah, diving with whales and swimming with dolphins. Oh my goodness. Gail, you've been spinning for 2 years? I am so sorry. Oh, vertigo. Holy cow. One of my dearest friends, I talk about him all the time. He's got Meniere's disease. He went through, y'all, one day I'll tell you the story of this fella. Talk about miracle story, craziness. Okay. So all of that said, now we are going to, hey, you know what? I do want to ask one more thing. I know this is a little kooky and off kilter today, y'all, but I'm hoping that it is, oh, Lordy. Mindy, I had a very intense meeting with my attorney yesterday. I followed your advice on Wednesday reading. I didn't go with the flow like you said. Mindy Dukes, did it work out for you? Lord, I hope so. Okay. So all that said, Um, did anybody have an experience with Ladybug from Monday, was it, or Wednesday? I got a bunch of messages that people had mysteriously. It's so weird. They either saw Ladybug before the live or they started seeing Ladybugs after the live. And oh, thank you, Mindy. I'm guessing that means that it worked with your attorney, whatever that means. I don't know. I just hope it was helpful. Okay. Um but I did have several people contact me and say that literally within a day or two of the Ladybug coming out, they had some unexpected good fortune. And I was like, but you did expect it because Ladybug told you. I was just joking them, y'all. I was just teasing because, listen, that same stuff happens to me. I'm telling you, I almost fell out of my bed when that card came up. I was like, Grand Ibo, what is that? And, I don't know anything about hoodoo, voodoo, all that. I mean, I get the premise of it, but they are not kind to animals, and so I don't care for it. Not all practitioners are like that, but I don't. And there's some people that practice light voodoo and dark voodoo and all that kind of thing. I'm not, it's not my thing. I don't disrespect it. I just don't. It doesn't enter my awareness. However, I don't know another deck that has a card like that. I don't know. Now, let me also tell you this. I also think that I might have shared this because here's what I want to say. So I think I shared this story a couple, 2-3 months ago, but a friend of mine, a friend of theirs made a demon deck. It's more to the dark side of things, and I just don't really play in those realms. I'm not afraid of it. It's just not my thing, and I don't have any reason to do that. I always feel like I'm coming from a stronger position, a position of greater power, if I am all in the light, right? That's what I feel. I can't prove it. Okay. But I do okay in life. Okay. So on this particular day, this person pulled, hold on, I can't remember of it. We were just joking. I didn't even set an intention or anything like that. They literally just pulled a card, right? Okay. And the card that was pulled, come on, was, sorry y'all, hold on. Goodness. Great googly moogly. Hold on. Hold please. You'd think I could remember it. So it's a demon called Barbatos. Barbatos. My name is Bernadette. That was the first thing that got my attention. I was like, because it was just fun and games, just for fun. And listen to this, y'all. You ready for this? Barbatos can speak to animals. There's another definition of the myth of this person is that he holds the secret of all animals and that they only talk to him. I was like, okay. I mean, that got my attention because it's a demon deck. And I'm sure the person that made it is a wonderful person, but it's a demon deck, and Barbatos is a fallen angel. That said, there is a work that you can do with your spirit totem and power animals called shadow work. Some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't. But I've never ever seen people make such strides with facing their own demons or working to move past the fear or get healing from blah, 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 their shadow side. Because, woo-wooology. Look at that. You know what, woo-wooology? Hey, Peter. You know what? I don't know, but I'll contact that person and ask them. I don't even know what the name of the deck is that I remember. But all that being said, so Stephine, just you don't know what shadow work is, so just uh, what is a barbatos quesadilla? Okay, so Stephine, shadow work, it means a lot of different things. You know, people describe it a little bit differently, each person. But at the end of the day, let's say that there's a really common school of thought. Let's say you meet somebody whose characteristics just rub you the absolute wrong way. Their tone of voice, the way they are, what they do, what they don't do, all that kind of thing. The idea is that's a shadow aspect of yourself, that you don't like it because you don't like those parts of you that are also like that. As regards animals, you know, I'm going to choose snakes because I don't know if you guys know this, but the fear of snakes is one of the top 3 fears in the world. People actually fear snakes and speaking in public more than they fear death. Isn't that crazy? But the fear of snakes is a no joke thing. Well, there's, oh my gosh, the shadow work you can do around what snakes represent: your sexuality, your kundalini, ancient wisdom, healing abilities, just anything that a snake has to do with. And it's a very phallic kind of symbol, so that can come into it. You know, anything about the masculine divine, you know, masculinity, and that's inside of yourself, outside of yourself, because we all have masculine and feminine traits based on, you know, how society has defined or labeled, you know, feminine and masculine. But snakes are one example. If you're afraid of that snake, you know, if you're terrified of snakes, there's got to be something in all of its meanings and its symbolism that trip your triggers. But let's say, like, no joke, y'all, I used to represent a kid in the entertainment business. Funny. Oh, how I wish this kid would have stuck with it. He could have been one of the world's leading stand-up comics. Hilarious. Had a mortal fear of napkins. Of napkins. He'd see a paper towel, he'd run. They would go to restaurants where there were those white linen towels or whatever kind of linen towels, and it was only the white ones. He had to make sure that he had a burgundy one, a green one, a blue one, a whatever one. But it would send him, it literally, he would go pale as a ghost. He would start to shake and he would start to sweat. Now, you know, his parents had him in therapy to try to figure out what it was. And I just didn't know how to help this kid because his phobias, and he also had a phobia of little dogs. He could be around an Irish Wolfhound and be fine. He could be around a Mastiff and be fine. But God forbid a Chihuahua come yapping at him. He would go running. He'd run and he'd lock himself away. So finally one day, I never ever said anything to the parents. They would have never ever believed this, ever. But honest to goodness, it was something he said. I don't remember what it was now. I was working with him with his stand-up comedy routine, and there was something that he said, and I looked at him, and I had this feeling come over me that he had something traumatic happen to him as a KKK member, or as an African American, or somebody Jewish, or somebody gay, or whatever, because the KKK doesn't only, and didn't, they haven't historically only gone after African Americans. It's anybody that doesn't fit their, you know, their profile. And I just had this flashback, and I saw it, and I never could say anything because that was not a time and place where people knew what I did or that I was studying this path or whatever. And I just always kept it to myself. Where I'm going with all of this is, right? Exactly, Linda. We have to exactly do your shadow work. The benefits are magical. You ain't lying, sister. So all of that said, Wow, that's really interesting. So, okay. So, all of that said, um, your shadow work is important. And today is not about shadow work, but having that demon card pop up was a great reminder for me that it's wonderful to stay in the love and the light. I love it. I got magical, childish junk all around my house because I just love it. But there are times when it will behoove you best to get down to the nitty gritty. And those can be some really uncomfortable spaces and places. Really uncomfortable spaces and places. But the animals can really help you with that. And so Coyote can help you with that. Let's say that you're facing a fear of, I don't know. Maybe you want to enter a relationship or exit a relationship. I actually know somebody. They've had a child with someone. This person would love nothing more than to marry them. And they just absolutely cannot do it. And the person that wants to marry them has given them, and I believe rightfully so, a time boundary. Because that person is clear they want to be married to that person, the other person, for many of their own reasons, but mostly because the person that is like, why can't we just leave things the way they are, realizes that that person isn't 100% in because of that other person who's stalling back, pulling back on the reins, doesn't want to go to the, get led to the altar. They're not 100% into the relationship because of the conversations they've had, wherein that person has literally said, well, yes, of course I would be much more committed if we were married. You want to pin the next 10 years of your life on somebody who's got 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out the door? I don't know about that. You see what I mean? So here's the thing. Exactly, Kimberly. False evidence appearing real. So Kelly B. Okay. So Kelly, I'm gonna give you, let me just say this. Stop telling yourself the story that you're in a dark place, and just stop saying these are tough times. Stop saying that. Those are stories that you're repeating to yourself. And that's the place you're living in at the moment because you're choosing to live in that place. Now, I'm not admonishing you. I'm not shaking my finger at you. I'm not telling you how you feel is wrong. What I'm telling you is when I tap into, you've been on the channel for a while, right? So even just from what you write, I know that your heart is so big that when you feel things, you feel it like 100 times more than how, muggles or just other kind of people that aren't up in this space feel them. But you can move through this, still carry grief, still carry fear, but not have it be so dark for you that you can't see how to help yourself and help your mom. Because let me tell you something, and I'm just going to shoot straight. Well, let me not do that. Kelly, do you want a message? If you want a message from me, say yes. Just write yes. Just write yes, Mama Bear. Or yes, just write yes message before I deliver this message. So, also, Kelly, I'm looking in the feed if you want a message. It's a big message. It might trip your trigger a little bit, but it's a necessary message. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Um. Okay, hold on, you guys. I'm trying to take care of something here real quick. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no. Y'all, I don't know what I did. Hold on. Sorry, I lost. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. Okay, there we are. Okay, I lost the chat for a minute, you guys. There was somebody that there was something that was vulgar in there, and I was trying to block it and do whatever, and it dumped me out of the chat. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Okay, but I got the feed coming back in. Okay. So, I'm sorry, Kelly. It is a lot to handle, and I totally get that. But I had to refresh my chat, and I lost a whole bunch of the chat. Kelly, do you want this message? Please. If I didn't see it, I apologize. I had to refresh the chat. Okay. Hey, good morning, C. Canuel. C. Canuel, did you get the email that I sent you yesterday? C. Canuel, can you just type in the chat yes if you got the email I sent you yesterday? Anyway, so, okay, phew. Okay, listen, Kelly, let me tell you something. Here's the message. A mom's heart is never, ever, ever, ever separated from their children. Never. And when people are in a compromised physical state, I have always found that they get hyper sensitive. And what that means is your mom might be picking up on your fear, and she might be trying to help you as mom with her energy, where she could do a lot better things for herself at the moment if she could focus on herself. And let me go back to your heart, because let me just say that again, I'm going to go back to what I was saying about okay, C. Canuel, you're in Canada, right? You're in Canada. Can I call you? Can I call you later today? I just want to make sure you're the right C. Canuel that I think you are. Are you in Canada? Okay. So, and if so, may I call you later today? So anyway, so all that said, I know that you have a big heart. I know that from you being in the chats. And I know that just when I'm looking out like that, I'm looking away. What I'm feeling right here in my chest area is like a humongous heart. Like it's so big, it's like coming out of my chest and out from everywhere. And what that means is, okay, thanks. Ah, good. Okay, thank you, C. Canuel. Okay. So that said, it could be really helpful to you both if you find whatever way you can not to deny your feelings, not to feel what you're feeling, not to experience them, not to push them aside, nothing like that. But this might be the time that you could be best served and your mom could be best served if your focus is on all things light, whatever that means for you. And you oh God, there's something about the heart. If you just will send her heart to heart transmissions, That's the word. Heart to heart transmissions. So Kelly, you would go wherever you go, sit wherever you sit, and you literally would visualize your heart sending energetic streams like electrical currents to your mom's heart in whatever her, because I feel like color is important to her, and so her favorite colors, send them, and you're like, it's there's almost some kind of dance of color that's going on. I don't know you. Right. So you don't have to be stuck, and you can do energetic work that even if you are not there, you can do the energetic work. Meaning, before you can figure out something that you can do in the physical realm, do the energetic work first. And I feel like, sorry y'all, I have weird things still going on with my throat. I got to munch on a mint. I don't know. There's just something going on, Kelly. It's like your heart is big enough and powerful enough that you can cover the whole situation and everybody involved in it. People that are, excuse me, bringing the ruckus. And by communicating with your mom, you all can calm it all down. And then you'll be able to better figure out what you can do from, the physical space. So I hope that was helpful. Okay. Okay. Hey, y'all. Okay, that's so weird, Dawn. So weird that you just write that. I was just, if you guys saw me cock my head to the side, you're very welcome, Kelly. I'm sending all the Mama Bear good energy to you and by extension to your family, because once I unload the I'm gonna unload the groceries in you, Kelly. You can unload them and you can cook whatever you're gonna cook. Oh my gosh. Okay, C. Canuel. That makes total sense. We'll talk, but I sent you an email early yesterday or the night before or something. Wow. Okay, that makes total sense of why you sent that email, or why I sent that email. Great googly moogly, or why I worded it the way it did. Okay, I'll call you later today. And just so I'm 100% for sure that I have your number, will you please email me? I'm pretty sure you've emailed me before because you've won a couple of decks. And so, yeah. Okay, so here's the story. So what I was going to ask y'all was, I just feel like, yes, please, just be sure to email me your number, okay? So the thing about it is, that's funny, Dawn. I just feel like why this reading, healing at all session was supposed to be like it is this morning, is there something going on in the hearts of everybody, or should be going on in your heart, wherein you're trying to do so much work, energy work from here and not from your third eye, but your brain, your human brain, when you actually should be doing the energy work here. Because when you send, that can't possibly be scratched. Hold on, y'all. Oh, thank goodness it's not scratched. Okay. Whatever this is you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to heal, whatever you're trying to connect to, it's seriously like if you just connect heart to heart with that transmission, but it's got to be visual, where, oh my goodness, where you visualize the electricity, the frequency, the color, the vibration, the energy coming right from here, going directly to that situation's heart chakra. And a situation can have a heart chakra. or write to that person or people. And that's going to give you the, that's going to give you the power that you're needing and what that other person is needing as well. Okay. So, all that said, man, y'all, oh, restless. Today's not any different day. I've been telling you that for weeks, months, maybe. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do now. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And I will take questions at this time. But if you are new to my channel, please know that manners matter to me. And a hi or a something else would be awesome, rather than you just jumping right in there and asking your question, and or like a person I just blocked, asking your question and then writing another message that read, answer me. You might want to spend 3 minutes on my channel before you do that. But here's the thing. Oh my God, Teapot, you are the best ever. We've got you wrapped in love and comfort. Y'all, when Teapot gets her healing thing going, I'm telling you, she's going to heal the world. The love that lady, I don't know. Teapot, you are love. You don't even give love. You just are love. You're just a big old ball of love that floats around the universe. One day I'm going to be as good as you. Okay. Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, I'm happy to do that, Jason. Anyway, if you're new, really where I was going with this is I love you and I will get to you as time allows. And I hope that you can understand why I would give a little bit of preference, well, a lot of preference to my longtime subscribers. And the other thing is I have to stay true to spirit. I have to go to who spirit tells me to go to, because spirit will know what is best at the moment and not me. So for the rest of this half an hour, I just get to be a ventriloquist dummy. Yay! Okay, Jason. Now, Jason, you asked for a drawing in regards to you doing shadow work. So I don't know if that means that you want an animal to appear that will help you better see what shadow work you have to do. Or if you you know what? This is crazy. Listen to this craziness. Spirit said draw a card. Jason's going to know what it means. Okay. I love that. Okay. Teapot is a joy. If y'all knew her for real. Oh, Jason, honey. You got the moon and the owl inverted. Okay, now, here's the story. Here's the story. Owl, who did I just have this conversation with? About owls. It was all about owls. Just a day or two ago. A couple days ago. Owls, one of their biggest parts of their symbolism and their meaning is that they're the animal, the bird, that gives you the courage to see in the darkness, to look through the dark shadows of things. The other thing is, as the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card, the moon, which the owl is in my deck, what? Oh, that's right, Lisa, owl's in class. Y'all see why I love my job now? Y'all see why I love my job? Jason's like, yikes, the girl I'm in love with calls me her owl. We're done here. This is my favorite thing for people who are doubters, haters, and non-believers. All I got to say is, hoo, hoo, could be a hater or a non-believer after this? Proof positive. Irrefutable data right there. Bammo. Okay, now, you're welcome, Axie, for my integrity. It gets me in trouble, though. No joke. It gets me in trouble a lot. Not really. Not a lot. But when it gets me in trouble, it gets me in trouble. Okay, Jason. But for real now, let's talk about why this card is inverted. So you asked about shadow work, and I know, I always know, when the owl comes inverted for people, they are not willing at that point to see what's wrong, negative, shadowy. They're very afraid of their psychic self. And when you start to stand on your head with the moon energy, it's no joke. When we're disconnected from a planet that is so important to our planet, I mean, even if you remember at the very beginning of all this, it was like, go to the most natural, what's the most indigenous, what's the most ancient, what's the fundamental, what's the core, what's most important. If we were not connected to the moon, our world would cease to exist, because the lunar affects the tides, which affects this, which affects this, which affects this. It's like if bees disappear, we're done. We are donezola, because you can't live on spam your whole life, right? Okay. So I would tell you that, and it's super interesting, the way that you wrote the girl you're in love with. Is that going okay? And if it's not, there could be other reasons for this card showing up inverted. And so what that means is, I would really encourage you to read everything that you can about owls, owl symbolism, owl meaning, and about the moon card. And hey, Teapot, could I trouble you, please? Will you run to whatismyspiritanimal.com and snatch the owl meaning, and then run to Building Beautiful Souls, the URL, and put it in for Jason, and then get the URL of the moon card for him. The way I describe tarot cards on my website, buildingbeautifulsouls.com, is very different than how other people describe it. The meanings are still the same. They are still steeped in the Rider-Waite Tarot Smith meanings of those cards. However, I make it more conversational and more real world. And okay, cool. Excellent. Very cool. So just read those, and I want to encourage you that you've got to turn this card around. And if your dark space is that you learn to love yourself, it is, you might have to look at some really dark stuff. Okay. I'm sorry you have to do that, but I'm thrilled that you're open to doing it. And I just can't even begin to imagine how you're going to fly when you're on the other side. So there you have it. Owls, craziness. Okay. So all that said, hold on. Wall-E. Somebody wrote Wall-E. Wall-E. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. I'm going back up to get questions. Okay, hold on. Oh goodness. Okay. Should I stay or should I go? Hodgenall. I can never say your name. I'm just gonna call you Wins. Wins, I hope you're still here. Should I stay or should I go? You should go. Wait a minute. You're asking about two different situations. Okay, Hodgenall, winds of change. Man, I hope you're still here. I keep seeing two, two, two. You're asking about two situations. There are actually two situations that you're wondering if you should stay or should you go. So even though you pose the question, should I stay or should I go? And in your mind, you might think it's about one thing, but I'm picking up the energy of two different things. God, I hope you're still here. Hold on, let me scroll to the bottom of the chat and see. Yeah, okay. Hajnal, I feel like there's actually two situations that you are considering should you stay or should you go. Is this correct? Yeah, Lily, should I stay or should I go? Yep, earworm. Okay. Yeah, see, I'm picking up that right. There's two. Okay, right. Okay. Hold on. Okay. You'll know what this means, Wins. Okay. You should stay in whatever it is that has to do with house and home. When I try to separate these in my mind, which is why I was like, oh, you should go, and then Spirit was like, she should stay. But there's two different things she's talking about. I'm like, that's not going to help her. She should stay in one and go in the other. Come on now. The one you should stay has to, I keep seeing a house, almost like a Monopoly house, right? Just a house, a literal physical house. You should stay. Whatever regards a house or a home, you should stay. Then there's an energy. And when I see energy that's not attached to the physical, I know usually we're talking about another person and that you've already removed your energy from them. And so I would say that I would encourage you to anything that has to do with a house, stay. Anything that has to be that just has to do with an energy, you gotta go. Because the energy is no longer there. Like I can feel the energy, but I can't see it. And that means that has already dissipated. It's just the memory of an energy. I hope that's helpful. Yo, I'm so sorry to be crunching this this mint in your head, in your ears, but I gotta. That's funny. Okay. Can I just say, I hope any of you all out there that like Lisa, this is for you for sure. Lisa Snyder, it's totally for you for sure. But any of you all out there that are like, oh, could I really be a reader? Could I do this or could I do this? Yak, yak, yak. I can't encourage you enough. The world needs more readers, good readers, right? Okay. Ethical readers, kind readers. Okay. Oh, Alphanumerica 1, urgent electrical issues in your home. Yeah, Alphanumerica, you're the electrical issue in your home. I don't mean that in an ugly way. I feel like I'm sitting on your couch or your sofa or your papasan chair or you've got something in your house that's like, maybe it's a beanbag or something. It's not a traditional chair. It's not necessarily a traditional couch. But I feel like I'm sitting there watching you and you're like the Tasmanian devil. You are in a spin. Not in a negative way. It's really a joy to watch, but you're in a spin. Having said that, let me say this. I don't feel Alphanumerica 1, you've been on the channel for a while. You're I I feel like you've got a hell of a sense of humor that you never show on the channel. And even if it's not you that's like the funny person, you have a love of humor. Just a great love of humor. Alphanumerica 1, I need to be sure I'm in your energy before I give you this message about the electricity in your house. So could you just put in the chat, could you put yes to just yes humor, yes ma'am? Oh, I don't know what that means. Okay, there we go. All right. I will tell you that well, listen, I mean, let me just go on record as saying there should never, ever, ever be any question for any of us. If we think something's wrong or we feel like something's wrong, electrically, with your gas lines, with anything, get it checked immediately. However, what I am hearing is it is not immediate, but you could have a real problem during fall time. I don't know where you live, Alphanumerica 1, but I feel like there's something where water could get to a main breaker, a main this, a main that. And I keep seeing it go drip, drip, drip. But it seems to be coming from something icy. So I don't know if that means snow and ice or it means within your freezer. Because I keep seeing ice attached. Or it could be someplace else easily, but I keep seeing snow and ice attached. Oh, Northwest Ohio. It snows there, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it snows there. Okay. And so I would get it checked. However, here's the caution. You've absolutely positively got to, when they come to check, you make them check everything. And I don't get the feeling that you're a person that will not demand, but be like, put your expectations right out front. Listen, I want every single inch I want it checked, and I want verification of. And again, you can't know what you don't know. You're not an electrician. So you could call maintenance, that's fine. But also, I get a feeling that you also could be picking up this feeling from a neighbor. Are you in an apartment or condo complex or a duplex or something? I don't know. Okay. There's something about that. It could be it could actually come from a neighbor. Okay, you got a duplex. Okay, great. I was like seeing your wall, and then I was feeling like, okay, well, if this is the separating wall, I feel like the problem could stem from just over the wall. So it is your wall, but it's also their wall or an attachment. Okay, that makes total sense. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Man, I hope that was helpful. Okay. Okay, woo-wooology. I'm scared for my little guy. He's 9. There's a huge shift that needs to happen around him in school. We don't know what to expect. I'm going to draw a card on this one. You're welcome, Alphanumerica. But here's the thing, honey. You got to get it done before the snow comes. So in fall sometime. Oh, oh, wooology. So here's the specific intention that I set for you, wooology, about your son and in school, right? Okay. The meerkat showed up. If that doesn't look like a school photo, our class school photo, I don't know what does. And so this is your son, the one with his tongue hanging out, right? The funny one. And I have to say that right now he feels to me like he's this one, hanging out in the back, a little hesitant, a little shy, but he's not that kid. Like, he's not. He has shown glimpses of true leadership, but for some reason within your family system, I don't know that the word leadership has come up with him, but he could be a really great leader and people will they really like him. I know they will. But he's hanging back too much. He's a little too shy, a little too shy, a little too unsure. And he's really not that person. So I would really encourage you. The word that I'm hearing is that I am so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed. Y'all, you saw it here first. Holy cow. Y'all, if you do as much writing as I do and as many readings, and you'd think I know every word, where it is in my deck, in my books, in my decks, in my books. I don't. Y'all, what does that read? Effective leadership. What the heck? I didn't. I'm so embarrassed. I didn't even know that was on my own card. Do you see my face? My face is flushing red. Great googly moogly. Okay. So, leadership, honey. Right. He's very insecure now. Right. But he's not really that guy. He's just not. But he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And so he doesn't, in his spirit, he's got fire. What's his zodiac sign? I keep feeling fire from inside of him. And I feel like he's got fire sign in him, like almost like an Aries. It is he's got fire inside of him. He's not naturally shy. Okay. I hope that was helpful, Hajnal. I hope that reading was helpful. Okay. Also, you guys, oh God, I got to give away a deck and I got to scoot. My day is like crazy today. Cancer Sun, Virgo Rising, Scorpio Moon. Why do I feel so much fire in him, though? Does he have fire in some of the other significant houses as well, Wooology? I just feel Cancer Schmancer. I just feel so much fire in him. Here's what you do. Have a conversation. I don't think so, Laura. No, I'm super focused on woo-woo. I just if you have a conversation with him about movies he's watched, or like if he's a NASA nerd, like you said, and you talk about things that are, that he would recognize and understand what leadership is, you will uncover a person who would love to be a leader, because there's a teaching component that there is a teaching component about him, that he loves to teach, and that's where his leadership comes in. He likes to lead others to knowledge and share the knowledge. Look up everything you can about meerkats and them as a colony, them as a family, how they protect each other, how they look out for each other, and specifically how they communicate. Because I'm being told that he has an unusual, it wouldn't be unusual to you or me or anybody else that's here, but for mainstream, muggles, it's an unusual communication style. And he's got to stick to his guns, because there's going to come a day where people are going to want to communicate like he does and know what he knows. He just doesn't know that now because he's 9. I hope that was helpful. Okay. All right, you guys. So I got to scooter poop out of here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away a deck first. Okay. I'm holding up a card. Your job is to tell me anything you can about, oh, he's got Asperger's. There you go. He's got a different communication style. There you have it. There you have it. Let me tell you something. Some of the smartest people I know, I feel confident. I feel confident I'm on the spectrum somewhere with Asperger's or something, because as much as I can talk to the other side and get messages, people truly still, I'm 54, and people still confound me sometimes. I look at them and I'm like, how did I not get that social clue? When everybody around me is looking at me like, how did you not get that social clue? And I'm just like, oh, look, it's time for this Scorpio and the bear to crawl back into her cave, you know? So I got you, boo. Okay. All right. Here's a card. What is it? Tell me words. Tell me the animal. Tell me predominant colors. Now you can't win off of predominant colors. Okay. But, it's got to be, he's a mini Elon Musk. I love it. I want to know him. He'll make us all rich and we'll all get to fly to the moon. Okay. So, what do you got? Who wants a, it's not a mermaid, but you could even tell me this card is, this card actually has to do no water, no toad. It is not the sun card. It is not the phoenix. It is not the beluga. It is not blue and yellow and birds. It is not coyote. It is not the 10 of wands. It is not a manatee. It is not a parrot. It is not a water card. It is not a dragon. You could even tell me the concepts that you get around it. Like, it feels like, I'm sorry, C. Canuel, it's not your bluebird, honey. It's not an eagle. It's not a crow. Hold on right there. Brandy Galagos. Lamb, keep your light shine. Brandy Galagos. Lamb, keep your light shine, sun. Brandy Galagos, I'm going to declare you the winner because it is the sheep. Sheep, lamb, close enough for me. And here's what the story is, y'all. Listen to this. Brandy Galagos, you are the proud winner of an Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. Ta-da-da-da. Okay, Restless. Love you, bye. Y'all. Well, the reason I laughed is when this card came upside down. What is everything we've been talking about today? What is the work that we're all doing? We're trying to set ourselves free. And I just mentioned the word muggle. None of us want to be sheeple. We don't be a sheeple. Be your own person. Your son can be your own person, his own person. And so you've got to turn that around. And you've got to be a sheep. You can move gently through this world while carrying a big old club, right? Okay, so also, Brandy, when you said, lamb, keep your light shine, sun, I feel confident. I keep hearing the stanza of a song, keep your light shine, sun. I think that. But that's the whole thing about if sheep is inverted or lamb is inverted and you turn it up, the whole point is that you step away from being a sheeple and you let your own light shine on, right? So your interpretation was... good for you, sister. All right. Brandy, you've got to email me, howl@wildpackwisdom.com, howl@wildpackwisdom.com. Congratulations to Brandy Garagos. I hope this was helpful. I just can't begin to thank you all enough for showing up to these lives and showing up for animals, showing up for yourself. I hope that you will take some time this weekend and honor yourself for all the work that you're doing and all the good that you're bringing into the world, because it's no joke. And I just thank you so much. It's just such an honor to interact with you all. So I love you. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you Monday. And as always, what? Say it with me, everybody. Do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.